Hey, that was quick, man.
Loud
Had
and clear. You are looking
rapid fire.
good. What's going on your
I
side? What do
know,
you got? What's your setup?
man. I think this camera is actually better than the webcam that we use for
I
podcasts.
was gonna say this looks really good.
Yeah, I know. It's a good camera, isn't it, man?
Here, let me
It's
see.
the same one that took those pictures of Finland. That's probably why it looks so good.
Man, and those
Uh,
pictures were good, eh?
I know, man. Oh, man. What did you? It's been a while, man. We've not done a breakdown in such a long, long time, man. What did you think of everything, bro?
Man, where do we even start? I think we won't bury the lead
Start
too.
comes at.
Yeah, everyone wants to talk about Khamzat Chimaev. There's different ways of looking at it, and I think some people are very much into their fandom, which is why they want to have like such a narrative when it comes to Khamzat's fighting. Like, there's different ways of looking at it. Of this guy was a wrecking ball coming in, and he's going to be a wrecking ball after. Yeah, like the comments are saying, he's just going to smash everybody, and then in this fight he was a letdown. Or some people are saying like he's a developing fighter, and this fight he's going to keep improving from here. And it's not
Yeah,
as much as like we're not looking for narratives. Like, both conclusions are absolutely correct. He could potentially just keep improving from here. This was a number 11 ranked man fighting a number 2 ranked man, and given that context, he looked pretty good. Now, I don't know if he beats a even a Vicente Luke or a Kamaru Usman fighting in that same way, but that's neither here nor there quite yet. But what did you think of the Hamzat fight?
man. Do you know something? Here's the thing, yeah. Before the fight, everyone was like, "Burns getting smashed, man. Burns getting smashed." Like,
Me
I
as well.
had even people going, "Man, like, do you know much about grappling, man? I'm telling you, Burns is gonna get smashed, man. Hamza is so big. He's so big. He's so strong, and blah blah blah. Hamza this, yeah."
Yeah.
And I was thinking, man, like, if Burns can do half of the stuff he was doing against Usman, yeah, this is gonna be a very difficult fight. And it proved that way, man. I mean, Hamzat, the thing is, yeah, he starts off very, very hot. So he was
Yeah.
trying to take him down. I almost feel like he got shocked a little bit because of the fact that Burns is a lot tougher than he thought. He was like, yeah, I'm going to either knock him out quickly, I'm going to take him down really quickly. And then there was actually some things here that I was really impressed with Burns about, man. Like the slip and rip.
Yeah.
He did that a few times. In the second round, yeah, when he did that ducking right overhand that he hurt Usman with, I'm like, wow, man. Like, there's a skill level. But when people say, oh, man, Hamzat, like he's overhyped, yeah, that's bullshit, man. It's like you said, he's the number 11 guy and he just beat the number 2. Like, what do you want, man?
Those are really good
Yeah.
points too. And it's one funny thing with both Hamzat and Gilbert Burns is one's a national wrestling champion, one's like a 3-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. Neither of them did that in this fight. They just kept throwing what the comments were saying, like they're just throwing haymakers at each other. They just turned it into a brawl. Yeah, Gilbert Burns, a lot of his fights, he's tactically on point when it comes to striking. Like you said, that slip and rip, if he can maintain energy over 3 rounds, which he's never done before, like Gilbert Burns is a really good first round fighter, and we see it over and over again that he tends to fade the longer the fight goes on. But yeah, Hamzat looked good here. What's up, Amoon? But yeah,
Hey, how's it going, the moon, man? We should really start talking to people in the comments.
man,
we're not good at live yet, so fuck you guys.
man, we're
Like, we're
not gonna
gonna,
lie. I can't do 2 focuses at once, and I feel like WhatsApp in the background and stuff. Um,
it's like, what's going on, man? I don't know what's happening.
but let's
No,
jump
do
to
you
the
know? Do you know
next
what I was
step.
surprised
Yeah.
at? Yeah, Tim. Most surprised at the fact that. So here's the thing. Up until this point, yeah, Hamzat's stand-up has been a bit of an enigma. Would you agree? It's very much
Yeah.
meat and potatoes. He's got a jab. He's got a right hand. He throws hooks.
Yeah.
Not very technically either. Like he throws hooks, but very much meat and potatoes. You know, very fundamentals of striking.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do stuff like do spinning elbows or throw like flying knees, yeah, or fucking throw those kicks, yeah, to the body. Now I do feel going forward against if he ever gets the fight against Usman, it's not going to be on the ground at all. I don't think Usman's strong enough to take him down. Neither do I think Hamza is strong enough to take Usman down. If they fought on the feet, Usman versus Hamza, where do you see the keys of victory for each person?
Man, I think I would struggle not to pick Usman in this fight. The thing is with Usman is if he fighters age very quickly and rapidly overnight, and that's my biggest fear when it comes to Kamaru Usman. Is that we're just going to see this shift. I don't think that he loses to any of the top contenders. I think if he loses in the future, he's going to lose to himself. whether that's against Luke or whether that's against Khamzat. But in every sense, he's a better wrestler. He's a more qualified wrestler than Khamzat is. I think he's a much, much better striker. Like, I think even if you
definitely.
Yeah, like if you just had a straight kickboxing match, I think Usman would tool him up, honestly. The thing is, Khamzat, like you said, really powerful, really strong. I think he might have a slight size advantage on Kamaru, but I'm not sure if he has a strength advantage. But yeah, on the ground, I think Kamaru takes it all day. But what do you think? I could be wrong on that.
Oh man, I couldn't agree with you anymore, mate. Like standing up here, if that version of Khamzat for Usman, good luck, mate.
Yeah,
good luck, man. Because you know, some of the exchanges. So here's the thing, yeah. His coach was screaming at him like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? Like, you know, what are you doing? You're brawling, man. Like, this is not what we worked on." And he was like, I was like, "What's going on there, man?" Like, but it makes sense, yeah, because Khamzat, he lacked that discipline in the second round. I think he needed this, man, because he had this mentality that he's invincible, and there's no one invincible in this sport, man. There's absolutely no one. So I think that kind of helped him kind of get a bit more modesty, which he needed, man. If he didn't, then what the fuck was gonna? Okay, so here's the next question, yeah.
Yeah.
Him versus Colby, who wins?
Man, I know. Here's the fun part. We were just talking about the welterweight division earlier today. Welterweight, what did we used to call it? Like staleweight or something like that? I forgot what we used to. No, it was welterweight.
Heavy lightweights.
Yeah, well, it was welterweight because no one ever moved around in this division. Like you guys got stuck there. Like Jorge Masvidal, Stephen Thompson haven't won fights in years, and they're still like top 5. Finally, we got some new blood in the division. Khamzat Chimaev got some new blood in the division. We got this weekend, Bilal Muhammad and Vicente Luque. Some new blood in the division. We got Shavkat Rakhmonov as well. Some new blood in this division. Finally, welterweight is a ton of fun. But yeah, those weekend fights I'm looking forward to. Now, the Colby fight's a weird one because Colby is, if I'm the UFC, what do you do when Colby wins? Like, Colby can't beat the champion, but now he's beaten your top contender, the guy who had all the prospects. Like, what do you do when he wins? However,
I'm going to say something really controversial, Tim.
Yeah.
I watched the Colby and Usman fight. I actually think that's a draw.
Okay,
I genuinely, I think that's a draw because look, you're looking at the first, just to go really, really quickly. First round, Usman definitely won. Second round, 10-8. But then when you look at 3 to 5, yeah, I'm like, Colby won those rounds, man. Like, I thought you arguably won those rounds. So I wouldn't mind seeing a trilogy fight, man. I wouldn't mind.
You know what we should do is one of those what Joey Rogan and his boys used to do is do a watch party. We'll just put it on YouTube and like, here's exactly where we are in the fight, and here's us talking over it or something like that. But yeah, because we should rewatch it. That's a good one to rewatch, especially now that welterweight's actually moving a bit. Let's take a look back.
100%, man. 100%. Like it's going to be interesting, man, whatever happens to Hamza. I'm still on board, man, the hype train. I'm even more so than before. I actually think, man, he got took damage.
I don't know, man. I think he, even like Luque, I think beats him. Leon Edwards maybe beats him if they don't go to the ground. Colby and Kamaru probably. What do you think? Let's talk about Colby, though. Colby Covington. Like, does he beat him, though?
Colby Covington is going to put a fucking pace on him, man.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what this is going to be a case of? If Khamzat can't knock Colby out, man, it's going to be game over for him. But if he can, then obviously he's won the fight. But with Colby, in my opinion, just from what I saw, Colby's a lot more disciplined. He's got better cardio. Not that much, because I think Hamza and Burns were going at a ridiculous pace, and he was the fresher man in the third round.
He was, yeah.
But yeah, Colby's got better cardio. He's got better stand-up. He's a better disciplined fighter as well. He's just as tough as Hamza, man. He's taken a Kamaru Usman right hand to the temple and still managed to get up. Yeah, Colby all day, man. If I had to choose right now.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. And the one thing we always have to take in consideration, especially with younger prospects like Khamzat, is what we're saying is in this form right now, if he fought that way on Saturday night against Colby wins. But one thing with Chimaev is, how much is he improving fight over fight? In 6 months from now, is he going to fix those holes or is he going to be the same fighter? And we don't know the answer.
Exactly that, man. Yeah, do you remember what we said about Francis, man? Francis,
Yes.
what's he going to do, man? He's going to wrestle against
He's not
Gon.
going to wrestle.
He's going to wrestle against him.
No, never going to wrestle in his life. And boy, were we wrong. And he looked good doing it. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff, like, we can't always predict those things of how much better is he getting over day? Does he fix the holes in his game? Or is he going to be the same fighter 6 months from now? We really don't know. But I mean, if you're in a fandom, you've already made up your mind, and that's not a reasonable place to start if you're in some super fandom.
Absolutely,
right?
man.
Speaking of super fandoms, do you want to get to Petr Yan?
Yeah. Let's talk about that because we'll end up talking about Khamzat.
Yeah.
No, but the Petr Yan. Okay, so the smoking gun here is the first round, Tim.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone wants to know. Personally, I think people are saying that, you know, it was a robbery decision. Oh, come on, man, grow up. Come on. Grow the fuck up, man. Robbery.
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
Aljamain Sterling, there's a reason that we saw so much in him, especially going into the first fight. We were like, this guy is special. And then he got tooled, and we were like, never mind, I take it all back. And now we're eating our words of like, man, we should have stuck with Aljo because this guy is so special. He is so good. He was doing cool stuff. Like his defended takedowns, he turned into back takes. That's cool.
Oh my goodness, man! The way he scooted up to that back here, that was so, like, you could tell he drilled that 1,000 times in training. Yeah. He was just ready to take that back, man. And that second round, that's arguably 10-8, man. Come on.
That's arguably 10-8. And not only that, if you're judging the fight as a whole, or who did the most control, or who had the moments of closest to finishing the fight, this is an Aljo fight all day. If we're just talking round one, where do you land?
So here's the thing. I watched it without volume. I don't know what Joe Rogan was watching. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Joe Rogan. I think he's a fucking brilliant commentator. Yeah. I do feel like it's hard for you not to get engrossed in the Petr Yan hype train. Not even the hype train, he's a champion, but the Petr Yan train, because they're like, yeah, Yan's going to do this, Yan's going to do that. And ultimately, the first round, Yan was pushing forward with octagon control, but you can't say that he won that round, just with octagon control, purely because he wasn't doing effective striking, man. Aljo was landing a lot more body shots.
Yep.
He was kind of capitalizing the fact that Yan, he keeps his hands up really, really super high, and he was just kicking him to the body and to the legs. Yeah, man. I mean, what are they talking about, man? I don't understand, like, how Aljo, like, how? Just how?
But here's the thing of like where we move with fandom. I completely co-sign with everything you're saying. I also watched the first round with the sound off the first time, and I was surprised that there was any controversy. Then going back and watching it a few more times, I kind of see it now. I get what people are saying. Like Petr Yan is taking steps forward, and people are like, "Oh man, what's he gonna do? Oh boy,
what's he gonna do? Oh my god, he's stepping forward. Oh my god, octagon control. Oh my god, he's not throwing any punches. Like, what the fuck, man? Relax, guys.
He didn't do anything. But yeah, I forget the other points. Yeah, fandoms make it really tough because we went from Petr Yan is going to absolutely dominate this guy to now we're trying to say like, well, he narrowly won one round. Man, you've lost the plot. You're not saying anything of reason. So you're talking in a 25-minute fight. He had like 10 to 15 pretty good minutes. Your guy's not a smashing machine. Your guy's a good fighter, and he's an amazing fighter. He was my number one pound-for-pound pick for a long time. But you're losing the plot if you're trying to argue that your guy's still a smashing machine. You're missing something. You're missing your brain.
No, I totally agree with you, man. And it's almost like, so this is the point that Aljamain Sterling you brought up, and he goes, listen, man, me and Corey Sandhagen, that was for the real belt, man. Like, I don't understand how Petr Yan, he became a champion.
Right. He was fighting age
being a Baldo. He was at a loss.
Yeah.
You know, so it's he's like, I told Ash, man.
Yeah, came in at the right time just to be like, I was right.
No, but I was telling people for ages, man, Aljo could pull it off. I don't know. It was 50-50. So I was trying not to make a, kind of obvious decision here, but yeah, man. Would you want to see, okay, would you do a flyweight thing and just make these guys rematch again?
Or the thing is, I like TJ's fight style a lot. I think he pound for pound, he's a really talented fighter. So I want to see TJ fight. And if that's the fight that they want to do, I'm all for that. But man, it's weird. One thing I want to talk about as well is how hated Aljamain Sterling is in the MMA community. So,
oh my god, man, get over it, guys. Come on.
But not only that, of like this guy was fighting in the United States in a fairly Republican right-wing part of it, fighting a Russian, and people are cheering for the Russian. How hated is Aljamain Sterling for this to happen? What is going on here?
Man, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I just feel like for people just to say it's a robbery, that is just ridiculous, man.
Ridiculous.
That is so ridiculous. Like, okay, look, number one, round one, even if you gave that to Yan, even if you gave that to Yan, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
You give that to Yan. You got to give round two, as a 10-8 to Aljo, a 10-9, and round three to Aljo. And then 4 and 5, if Petr Yan definitely took those rounds, I'm not taking that away from him. It's still a draw, man. It's still a draw if you were to, do the point system. But I don't know, man.
Yeah. Robbery, I think they're tarnishing the word robbery is the problem. Of like, no, it wasn't a robbery. If you came out and said, you know what, I think let's take a close look at the first round because overall it was a close fight. Yeah, that's a reasonable place to have a discussion. But to say it's a robbery, get out of town. Get out of here. However, what do you do next? What do you do? Do you throw TJ Dillashaw in there? Do you throw Henry Cejudo in there? What do you want to do with the title now?
Cejudo, that would be interesting, man. But he wants to jump up to featherweight, isn't he? Man. He wants to jump up to featherweight. So that would be interesting. But I say, man, fuck it, man. Make them fight again.
Sure, whatever. Why not? It's a fun fight. And then you can you can do a Dillashaw Cejudo rematch at 135 and really sell that as like.
Oh, bro, that should have happened ages ago. If they want to set up a money fight, not that there's any money fights, below 145, but if they want to set up a money fight, that would be a good fight, man, to set up. Like Henry Cejudo versus the old bantamweight champ, man. Why not?
Oh, man. You know what sucks about it not being a money fight is all those guys at 135 and 145 pound for pound are the most skilled guys in MMA right now, and none of them can sell a fight. Like, everything below 170, amazing.
Exactly. Oh, you're not a big guy? Oh, no, we're going to just pay you less, man. Don't worry.
I'll wait for the next 80. Yeah, anyway. But let's move up to our pound for pound, probably my next pound for pound number one pick with Alexander Volkanovski. Yes. Man, he fought. I'm sad. I'm heartbroken. My boy looked slow as hell. But the thing is, Alexander Volkanovski fought a guy who is a top 10, and he's coming off a top 10 win. He's a reasonable contender. It looked like these two people were in a different league. Like, this was man. I feel bad. Like, and the stoppage was fine. That was a great stoppage, if anything. What did you think?
Good. It was. So this was just everything that we've discussed here. Volkanovski doing good in. He did everything perfectly, like literally everything. And he even made it a point, not to go to the wall too early and make it obvious that he's going for a leg kick.
Yeah.
And I think that just confused the shit out of the Korean Zombie, which makes no sense, by the way, because even he said in the conference that, Volkanovski switches styles, man. He might wrestle with you, he might kick you, he might do this and that, and then he just wasn't prepared, for the hands immediately.
He has meaningful feints.
Brilliant.
He has good feints. If you're not reacting to his feints, he'll hit you. If you're overreacting to his feints, then he'll hit you somewhere else. Like, he is so good with feinting. I feel like everyone was talking about, remember Dominic Cruz and TJ Dillashaw? They were like, oh, this is neo footwork. And it was very obvious what they were doing.
Oh, no, this is
like the next stage in really good footwork of how you're supposed to apply footwork in MMA effectively. Volkanovski, I think, showed, like, if you're not facing Max Holloway, this is how good he is. He is outstanding.
He fucks Max on the way up. I'm telling you. You know what? If there's any Max fans there, fuck you. He fucks them up, man.
No.
And I'll put money on this as well.
I love Max. Bring Max back. But
no, I love Max as well, but like, the way he switched stances, man, the way he threw kicks, from either side, the way he slipped and weaved, out of the punches that Chan was, man, everything was perfect, man.
It was perfect.
How do you beat that? How do you beat him?
Like, that's a beatdown of the year contender there, but it just makes us all sad. So we're probably not going to remember this fight very well. What do you do with Volkanovski?
Exactly.
He wants to go up to 55. He does have a pretty big height disadvantage when it comes to Oliveira and Gaethje. Do you just throw Max back in there because 145 doesn't really have any other contenders going on? What do you do with this weight class now?
I would suggest, make the Max and Volk fight. If Volk wins somehow, then fuck it, make him versus McGregor in at 155. Because they've been talking shit, like,
they have,
they've been talking some shit here and there, and McGregor, he needs, I wouldn't say an easier fight, but he needs a fight, where he's got the advantages, he's like the taller man. He always does well when he's the taller man with the bigger reach.
Yeah.
And if you beat the featherweight champion at lightweight, that's a huge feather in your cap, man. So why not make that fight?
Dude, that would be Yeah, I can see McGregor being into something like that because it comes with the territory that he wants, which is like, I want to fight at 155 at my lowest is 155, by the way. It's a
Yeah.
champion, but it's not the champion in that weight class. And yeah, it's kind of a win-win for everybody because then Volkanovski, if he loses, it's your champion, like the Israel Adesanya situation of like, yeah, you lost in a higher weight class. It's not a big deal. That's totally okay. Yeah, they have been
Yeah.
beefing. Man, I like that fight. That's a fun ass fight right there. That's better than a Masvidal McGregor fight or anything like that. I think that's a really
You
fun
wouldn't want
fight.
to make Volk versus Dustin Poirier. That's a little bit too much of a size discrepancy, man.
Man, how big is the
Yeah.
size discrepancy between 45 and 55? Like, I feel like Charles
Bro,
Oliveira is way bigger than him. They're like, I think 6 inches different. There's like 4.5 inch reach advantage as well. Like, it's a
I mean, these
surprising difference.
145ers are like 170.
Yeah.
You know, it's so weird, man, how people have gone so big, man, over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
how's everyone so big, man? Like, I remember at featherweight, 12 years ago, you had fucking Jose Aldo, man, as the featherweight king.
Man,
And he was the biggest guy there. He was like one of the biggest guys there.
man, a good example of how guys got way smaller over time, and it's something we all like. It's something we all weirdly notice. But Frankie Edgar is the best example of that. Of he was a champion at 55. He's cutting to 135 now, and he's still smaller than most of the guys at 135. Same with
What do you think? So his bantamweights are like 170 naturally, and he's not even 170.
Frankie Edgar was so small. He's still tiny. I think, yeah, and BJ Penn cut down to 45 with like no issue at all. BJ Penn used to fight at welterweight against Matt Hughes and George
Yeah.
St. Pierre, but now he's a featherweight. Yeah, guys started cutting weight well. I think another weird one was Kid Yamamoto. Of like when he would used to fight at like welterweight, middleweight. He started cutting down to almost flyweight at times, and he was still
Dude, he's like the same height as me, man. He's like 5'5", man. He's like a small guy.
Yeah.
How does he try fucking 170 as getting down?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, Kings.
Man, that's the thing of he used to fight it then like bantamweight, and he was way smaller than everybody else there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we wrapped up 45. We wrapped up the co-main event. We wrapped up. Let me bring up my stats here. Do you want to throw anything on any of these other fights, like Ian Gary or the Mackenzie Dern fight?
No. But what I will say is, guys, make sure you guys watch the Uriah Hall interview. Tim, I'm just going to promote here again. And Tim did a fucking fantastic interview with Superbond. Watch that. It's doing some good views, man. And we've actually got Ian McCall as well at some point. Going to come in soon. We're just revealing that to you guys here.
Man, that's the official
make sure you
announcement.
guys
Ian
keep
McCall.
subscribing.
What day can I expect that? Can we expect that? Ian Don't worry about it. It's this
Good
week.
question. We'll talk about it.
It's this week. Who cares? It's this week.
It is this week for sure.
But yeah, Superbond was a ton of fun. I think as soon as we were off air, he's like, "You need to slow down. I can't understand what you're saying." But he's a super nice guy. Like, and you can tell he really does want to tell you about the things because he's very passionate about the sport. But yeah, his English is getting better. For a guy who didn't learn English as a child, his English is really good.
No, it's really good, man. Yeah. Honestly, like I couldn't speak Thai. So,
that's it. And I told him that too. I was like, man, if you're doing French to English, it's a bit different. Spanish to English, you kind of like half there. Thai to English is super far, and I don't know Thai at all. But yeah, it was a good interview.
Exactly, man.
Ian McCall this week.
But yeah, let's get out of here, man. UFC 273 is a wrap. We'll try and do some more of these post-fight breakdowns on our IG Live at some point again when we're bothered. But yeah, have a great one, guys, man. Enjoy your evening, guys.
Cheers, folks.